Thanks F.Y.I for sponsoring this video.
On today's video, we are making steak à poivre because I'm going to be showing you two different versions. One that is more the traditional way and the Guga version. Enough talking, and here's my take on it.
For steak à poivre, you can literally use any cut you like. I chose filet mignon. As you can see, this one specifically has great marbling. It is 1.5 inches thick and perfect for today's cook. Now to season them, I kept it real simple. First, a good amount of salt followed by freshly ground black pepper and garlic powder. One of the biggest mistakes most people make is that they don't season their steaks properly. This is a crucial part, and since these steaks are quite thick, I highly recommend seasoning the edges as well. As you can see, once I was done, everything is perfectly seasoned. Now there's a big debate. Which one is better, stainless steel or carbon steel? Well, if you do it right, you can use either one. Let me show you. Whenever you're using stainless steel, the most important thing is to preheat it properly. At the same time, almost seasoning the actual pan. To do that, you just gotta get your oil real hot. After adding a good amount of grapeseed oil, I let the pan heat up completely. Then, as soon as it starts smoking, I like to go ahead and coat the whole pan with it. The same exact method applies for a carbon steel pan. You gotta get it nice and hot. And if you don't season the pan with the oil, I'll tell you one thing, it's gonna stick. So once everything is nice and hot and ready, I immediately added my steak. The key here is to get a nice crust in the beginning. For the very first 30 seconds, I don't move it at all. But then it's totally okay to do so. Since I'm cooking both steaks at the same time, the technique applies for both pans. The old saying of leaving your steak there and don't touch it is old, and it's no longer the case. Remember one thing, you want it golden brown, not black. There's another huge debate about searing a filet mignon, and that is, should you sear the sides as well or not? Most people don't, so I'm gonna leave the one that was cooked on the stainless steel pan without searing, and I'll sear the edges on the other one. Just keep in mind whenever you're doing it, you don't want to overdo it. Just a nice little crust is good enough. Talking about that, once I was done, into the oven it goes using my Chef IQ thermometer. We want to cook it until it reaches an internal temperature of 135 degrees Fahrenheit. As that was happening, take a look at the pan. We have a little bit of fond, but look at the oil. It's a little bit too dark for me, so I like to get rid of it. For the more traditional version, the first thing I like to do is to go ahead and flambe it. This makes quick work of deglazing the pan. As you see, once it was done, it was nicely cleaned. Then I immediately went in with some beef stock, brought everything to a simmer, and I added this special ingredient. And this is demi-glaze sauce. Once everything was mixed up, I added some green peppercorn, followed by heavy cream. Whisk everything together and brought it to a simmer, and this sauce doesn't get any easier than that. Now for my take, I like to go a little bit of extra step. Instead of using the flambe method to deglaze the pan, I immediately threw in some shallots, followed by garlic. Mixed everything well, and using the moisture of the onion, I started deglazing the pan. Then I added some gochujang, and as soon as you add it, it starts sticking on the pan immediately. Now it was time to deglaze the pan, and for that I just flambéed the whole thing. To finish it up, it's pretty simple. I went ahead and add that magical packaging. As soon as I added in, I went ahead and threw some green peppercorn, mixed it well to make sure that everything was combined, followed by a tiny bit of beef stock. As soon as it started reducing, then it was time to add the heavy cream. Now you want to mix everything well because the sauce is done. Now take a look at this. That is what I was looking for. Talking about that, by this time my steaks were ready. As you can see, the traditional version is a little bit more runny. At the same time, a beautiful color. When you compare that one with my version, it's much thicker, and it's the way I like to cook steak à poivre. The only thing left to do was to go ahead and slice them. And as I did, oh wow, perfectly cooked. I want you to notice one thing, edge to edge perfection. Not only on this one, but also on the other one. Now I'll tell you one thing, this is my take on steak à poivre, and it is absolutely delicious. The question is, which one tastes better? Well, it's about time we find that out right now.
And there we have it, everybody. Two beautiful steak à poivre. I got my taste testers here. This is steak à poivre, also known as pepper steak or peppercorn steak.
I'm really glad that you told us what that meant because I had absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I know. I don't speak French that well, everybody.
It looks like Google channel is upgrading. We're sitting down. We got steak à poivre.
There's really no experiment here. This is the more traditional version, and then this one right here is the one that I actually like to make for my family and I.
And what's the egg yolk for?
The egg yolk is because the guy here forgot, and I normally just shave it on the top like this.
Oh.
You know?
Oh,
this
we're getting fancy as hell.
Yeah. If you've never used cured egg yolk on your steak, I highly recommend. It's delicious.
Bring some of that over here. Hold on.
No, but that's for this steak. This is the traditional version.
Oh my God.
You know, I'm usually all for tradition, but today I'm saying tradition.
Enough with the egg yolk, let's give it a try. So here's the deal, Leo. Grab a nice hunk chunk of meat, use that sauce, and let's dig in. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Wow.
Incredible.
The classic doesn't get old, everybody. That is delicious.
Of course, you have that beautiful filet mignon flavor. It's incredibly tender, so juicy, but that sauce is amazing. I don't even think amazing is the right word. Beautiful, beautiful flavor on it that just makes a filet mignon better, which is hard to do, man.
This feels like you just went to a Michelin star restaurant and got a filet mignon straight from the best chef in the world.
Don't make me blush, bro.
It feels very high class. It's super tender. The flavor of the sauce and the fact that it's a filet, it's insane.
Half of it is because you gotta cook your filet mignon right, everybody. If you overcook it, then it's not gonna be as good. And I like it. This is not bad, everybody. But I'll be honest
Not
with
bad.
you.
Google, that is freaking amazing.
It's not bad, everybody. I just compared it to a Michelin star best chef in the world. It's not bad.
But it's not my favorite. This is why I make it this way, okay? I now wanna know what you guys think. Go. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Oh,
Wow.
You see why I say this is better? Do you agree, or am I crazy?
No, you're right.
No,
And it
it
even
is.
has a little bit of like tingle, like a little spice to it.
Gochujang.
Dude, it's so good.
the sauce on that one is also the star there. It has so much flavor on it, but that egg yolk on top adds a slight amount of richness and creaminess to the steak that you don't get on this version. Again, has all those wonderful beef flavors and characteristics of a filet mignon, just with that added little kick of that gochujang, plus the egg yolk. I mean,
That one is traditional. This is traditional with a twist, but the twist is like boom in your face.
More flavor, more delicious. And I'll tell you one thing, everybody. I highly recommend you giving this a try. You can now follow a step-by-step instruction of this on the Chef IQ app. Everything will be on the link on the description down below. And if you're getting one, use code GUGA10OFF for 10% off. Valid from November 1st to November 23rd. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, be sure to subscribe. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.